All right, it is time. It is time, you beautiful bastions of freedom. Gather around. We're going to spend the fastest 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how fast we can get through this together, that you're going to have today. This is my show. Welcome to it. We're going to talk about something that is highly concerning to me, and I'm popping up. It's seeing everywhere. I'm seeing it. This whole woke thing. You know, the thing that is just the most asinine stuff in the world, all wrapped up into one ideology, partnered with a little bit, one part equals socialism and one part stupid, along with a little emotional insecurity. And you get the woke policy-driven machine that is the Democrat Party. Yet we thought it was dead. But it turns out it's been sitting there in the corner, just like lying there, like we thought was a corpse. And it's like it just started twitching. It's not a good look. And I'm going to show you everything because it all comes down to when the Democrats thought that everything is comfortable. The mask will always slip when they don't think you're looking. Guys, this is going to be a big one. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Your engagement makes the show go around. Make sure you hit the comments, the chats, the emojis. Spread this everywhere to tear the left asunder because we have one sole mission on this channel to save the country step by step, video by video, emoji and chat, and comment by comment. Y'all, this is going to be a thing. All right, let me put this in here. Make sure the audio and video is good. It looks good on my side. Make sure it is actually good over there. We've got notifications going out. Bless my soul. We must be having a good day. And that's right, Coaster Fish. Click all the clickies as always. Chats, comments, emojis. Make the world go round. And once I post this, we start rolling. Make the world go round. So please do it. Little add-on. All right, listen. That's it. The message is pinned. It is on. We are about to get spicy. A little bit spicy. A little bit concerned and a little bit like, why is that dead body in the corner twitching? It's going to be a good show. All right, listen. I want to make it abundantly clear that the fight is never over. Yep, Trump won. Popular vote. Electoral vote. The House. The Senate. Republicans kicked the crap out of Kamala Harris and her ilk. It happened. I was there. I witnessed it. I, in fact, streamed it live. I think I actually broke the internet with one of my streams because it failed. However, it doesn't mean that you've won forever, and the left went dormant. All the defunding of the police, all the woke ideology, the dudes in girls' restrooms, the dudes in girls' sports teams, all of that far woke stuff tied together with the socialism. Well, what they did was they dropped all the woke stuff for a second and they went hard with the socialism. Then the socialists started seeing a little bit of benefit. Like, oh my God, the proletariat versus bourgeoisie. It's happening. It's our time. DSA, Democrat Socialist America. We put Democratic in front of it, so who doesn't love that? It's our time. And then the wokies over here go, wait a minute, I want to play too. And now we're back. Y'all, I'm about to play for you something that you really need to see. And that's why I put it in the front right here. And I was a little bit late on this show because I'll be quite candid with you. I didn't like the flow of the show you're about to see, so I rearranged it. All right, here we go. This is a woman on a school board. I know, it's like 2020, 2022. What's happening? School boards, insanity. Yeah, it turns out it's still there. This is a woman who's talking about inclusion in a K through 12 setting. Okay. We've established this is kindergartners through 12th graders. Okay? This is not seniors in high school. This is not seniors in college. This is kindergartners through 12th grade. Okay? Now that I've included that, let's zoom in a little bit so you can see the stupid, because this right here is something we're going to have some fun with. It's going to get spicy. Just bear with me. We're going to make this happen. Watch.
I'm going to be honest. I don't feel good about being white every day. For a lot of reasons. Because it's a point of privilege that I get to move through the world in a way that so many of my other colleagues and friends and family members of the community don't get the privilege to do. And I'm just a female, but just a woman, just a white woman. If I was a white man, I would be functioning from a point of an even greater privilege. I think we're missing an opportunity when kids have a moment to reflect about how the color of their skin does and does not allow them to move through the world. Running to them and trying to stifle that and trying to say you shouldn't feel bad, so we don't want to ever expose you to something that is going to make you have to pause and have maybe some internal feelings. It's a missed opportunity for some really good dialogue.
Oh, I've got some external feelings for you, Cupcake, and I can do this. You want to know why? Because according to the woke rules, since she's white and I'm white, it's perfectly fine. Okay? So now here's the rules. Well, here's my observation. You guys can have fun with this in the comments. It's fine. Because I told you we're going to start engaging directly on a lot of this leftist stupidity. So, as the white guy in the room, I can tell you, I'm 39. I'm coming on 40. I can tell you as one of the individuals who was on the front end of all the woke liberalism, all the inclusion, DEI, all that stuff at a very liberal company, I did not experience a privilege uber to other white people, especially if they're women, because according to the hierarchy of offensive liberalism, white dudes are at the top, then white women are right below them, but they get a bonus problem because they make other white dudes, so that's like a quasi problem, and then you got everybody else. Well, so as the white guy in the room, I can tell you I never experienced that. In fact, as a point of equity and inclusion, I actually experienced the exact opposite because everything was my fault. I'm sure some of you guys can resonate with that. So now that we've said that little piece, here's another little piece. Stay the hell away from our children, okay? These are 5-year-olds. These are 6-year-olds. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You don't need to go tell these children who do not have a clue about anything in life. They're worrying about peanut butter and jelly and what they're going to have for their snack when they go down for a nap later, and they might watch cartoons. You probably shouldn't instill in them a racial identity issue about who they are and how bad they are because of what they look like, when the entire point is about what people look like. Psychopath. This is part of the problem of the wokeness, and I've got even more coming up. Wait until I show you what some Democrats in Congress said today about the terrorist attack where they shot National Guard members. That's coming. So women like this are the problem. And if you think that this right here is going away, it's not. It's just dormant. This is one of the reasons, come here. This is one of the reasons that I was so animated in my video last night, and I've been alluding to it a bunch of times in my live streams. Stop all the fighting, people on our side. We have very serious dragons knocking at the door that are going to be counterproductive to everything we fought for the last 2, 3, 4 years, or even 10 years. People have literally died fighting this fight. It's probably not a good time to worry about your sub counts and your view counts. Maybe worry about the dragon that's at the door after our children. And it's all children. It's not just any one specific subset and group. It's all children, because this is a poison from the pit of hell. It's still here. This is the reason that we orient and we operate in unity, and we care about the midterms. Again, another alluding to the video I did last night. This is just the opening intro. All right, guys. I told you we're going to get spicy. Comments, chats, emojis, all the engagement. It makes the world go round. All right, now, again, here's another wokey thing. Y'all, I'm telling you, it's still alive. Check this out. Oh, this is a lefty. Breaking. Donald Trump ends Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, raising cost on millions of Americans. How much manipulation do you want to deal with in one headline? Because quite literally, it's not anybody's business or anybody's requirement or responsibility or in the interest of fairness to make me or anybody watching this or anybody in a blue-collar job who didn't go to school pay for a bunch of liberals who got the women's rights degrees and got all these feminist degrees that no one will hire, and they're pissed because they have student debt because they made a bad decision. That's not raising cost on millions of Americans. That's reverting back to an America where you have an actual consequence for your stupidity. If you make a degree decision and has no benefit on the other side and no one hires you because it's worthless, that's not on everybody in America's responsibility to pay for your mistake. That's you. You made an idiotic decision. Just like if I make an idiotic decision, I have to face the consequences. The United States government doesn't get to come in and make out all my debts completely gone if I make a bad decision. If I go and gamble away $1,000, that's probably not on the government's interest to say, oh, that's not fair. It shouldn't have worked out that way. Here's $1,000 paid for you by the two guys right over there. No, that's bullcrap. But this is what they think. These are all remnants of the Biden administration. The woke ideology forced on children, the racial disparity issues forced on children, the paying off student loans of everybody in America by the people who didn't go to college so they can get their free ride. Yeah, just tell me when this starts to make sense. Because the woke monster over here in the corner, it's not twitching anymore. Now it's got one leg up. Okay? This is a very important thing that we keep fighting because this is what it's all about. Saving our country and defeating this monster forever. And if you let that monster get 2 feet on the floor, you're going to have a bigger problem. And a really good way to do that is to ignore it. Let's keep on going. We got some crazy to go through. And guys, let me hear you. I paid for my college. Can I get a refund? You know what? I paid for my college out of pocket too because I worked full time while I went to college. Yeah, I would love that too. Let's get a refund for me too. Good idea. All right, people, listen, here we go. This is what happened today in Congress. And this is what I mean by woke is still alive, and here comes the Democrats, and this is some more stuff. So, the hatred of Donald Trump, the TDS to the nth degree, just overrides brain cells. Honest to God, it just overrides brain cells. So, this is a Democrat. Representative Julie Johnson says that the National Guard members were shot in the head in a terror attack, quote, because people are frustrated. They are channeling that frustration. These are the same people. Just because they don't have power doesn't mean they've changed their ideology. Watch this. This is about the National Guard members who got shot and ambushed by a guy who yelled Allahu Akbar and then was an immigrant coming in from Afghanistan under the Biden operation. All right? Yeah. Okay. You know what?
You can't just snatch somebody walking into a coffee shop because of the color of their skin. There's no probable cause for that. And also that you will get due process. And that is not happening. And so you're seeing.
I'm so sorry. My 2A people will understand. I got to say this. If you are new to the channel and you're one of the 115,000 people who have joined us in the last 3 months, first of all, welcome. Thank you for being here. Now we're going to talk about something that's a little off the record unless you're on 2A side, okay? This whole due process thing about immigration that they always go down is a deadly trap for them because they are constantly pushing due process infringements on anybody who owns a gun in the Second Amendment space through something called red flag laws and yellow flag laws, where they take your constitutional rights without a trial, without facing your accuser, without even the ability to have a trial, and you are presumed guilty until you prove yourself innocent. You lose your rights and you might get them back 12 months later. Okay? These are the exact same people who are doing that. So due process is all that new hotness, except when it's around the gun rights. Okay? Just so you know, this is where it all blends. I always say everything blends together. It's a really good example. Let me hear you in the chat. Let's keep on going.
Is an overwhelming frustration of the American people in this country that the lack of respect and regard for the rule of law by this administration, and in particular by this secretary, is at a level that we have never seen and violates all of the constitutional norms and all of the principles of legal fairness in this country. And you're seeing that manifest itself in threats to law enforcement and bubbling over because people are frustrated. And they are channeling that frustration because the administration is not listening. You can't.
Okay. You know what? I'm just going to say it. Here we go. So the left has this thing, and this is one of the reasons that I will never be aligned to the left in anything. Because they have this thing where they say, go ahead and break the law. Go ahead, come on in, it's perfectly fair. It's perfectly fine. You get in here, you jump in front of everybody who wants to be a part of this country through the legal immigration process, wants to assimilate into the country and chase something better for themselves and the rest of their family, because this is the best country with the best opportunities for anyone in the entire planet. They all know. So you're going to get all the people who skip that process to go over the people who are legally doing that process. And then when they get here, just like all criminals, right? Like anything criminality, right? It's, well, did you think about how hurt people? Did you think about how hard it must have been if they were hungry that day, as the mayor of Seattle did when I showed you that video? I'm not going to arrest the guy. I'm going to get to the root cause of the issue. And since they're here, who are you to say the constitutional protections don't apply to them? They're not citizens. They broke the law to get into the country. They don't get the benefits of the country if they broke into the country to break the law to get there. Like it makes no sense on any face, at all. But that's the way that it works. Don't worry, break the law. Come on in here in the millions upon millions upon millions. And when you do, we'll just apply and say it's unfair and all the constitutional protections to somebody who's not part of the constitutional protected people. I mean, it is mind-boggling how they do this and they get away with it. But let's keep on going. Keep on going. And by the way, just to double down, I really want anybody who has a dream and wants to assimilate and wants to do better for their country to get their butts in here, do it the legal way, and contribute to something bigger and better than themselves. Get your butts in here. Most of us are immigrants. Great, fantastic, amazing. But you got to follow the process so you can contribute to the process. Anyway, let's keep on going. We got even more of it. This is Kirsty Noem just goes ham on this one. Watch this. This is talking about the same process, the same hearing. There's 2 more clips of this hearing, then we're going to get into the real fun stuff.
Officials' assessment that the United States has been operating in a heightened threat environment for several years now?
Yes.
Yes or no? Would you say New York City is susceptible to these kinds of security threats?
Yes, and that's why they should spend.
So with New York City
$440
being the
million
number one terrorist target in the nation,
the federal government gave them
with New York City being the number one, I reclaim my time, with New York City being the number one security threat in this nation, it's unconscionable that you would cut $134 million in urban area security initiative funding for the city of New York. What compelled you to knowingly make our cities less safe with these funding cuts?
What compels you, your mayor, and your governor to release thousands of criminals on the streets rather than to turn them over to ICE? You'd rather release
Secretary Noem,
a murderer out on your street,
you cut $134 million in funds
honor our detainers
to support the security of New York City. And the
All right, so you have to understand something. And if you're new here and you're not used to seeing the inner workings of these political hearings, get ready, it's a circus. So you can see the guy on the left is a Democrat, obviously the cabinet member on the right is Kirsty Noem. Okay, this guy doesn't want to talk about anything. He wants the talking point. He wants the clip. He wants the Jasmine Crockett. He wants the AOC. He wants that little clip where he can get and take to his fundraisers. I got her, right? The guy literally has $440 million in the state of New York, specifically sent from the federal government to prevent illegal immigration, and they just sit on it. They don't do anything. So all the criminals that are going in and out, all the criminals that are happening, all the criminal activity that is happening, I'm not saying it's all immigrants, I'm just saying in this body of people, they just ignore it. Well, when they ignore it, then they get to blame the administration for making everything unsafe. Then you got something else that Kirsty Noem doubled down on, said you'd rather release a murderer out on the street, a rapist on the street, than honor our detainers. Well, what that means is the ICE is asking the New York Police Department for actual people who are illegal immigrants in this country, and because of sanctuary city policies by the Democrats, they're not allowing it. So they're letting them back out on the street and making ICE go and catch them by themselves. They already have them in jail. They have them literally in a holding cell. ICE says, hey, that person's one of our people, give them to us. And they say, no, we're a sanctuary city. And then they blame the administration for breaking the rules. Just tell me when it makes sense. The woke monster, the woke mind virus, is alive and well. I'm telling you, it still exists. It is dormant, but it's twitching in the corner. And if you don't start to look at that zombie and go, what am I going to do about this? We're going to have a problem, because that zombie will reanimate, and you do not want that to happen. Because if that thing reanimates, you're going to have a zombie on steroids, like Planet World War Z zombies, not like the real boring dumb ones from Walking Dead. Like, if you know Brad Pitt zombie versus Walking Dead zombie, you know what I'm talking about. But this is what you're dealing with right here, okay? All right, let's keep on going. I'm going to keep on trucking. Guys, the emojis, chats, comments, I loved it. I love every one of them. We got one more, and this one I saved for last because it's going to just boggle your mind. All right, so now this guy is a peach. This is Representative Benny Thompson. Now, Benny Thompson, you may remember, or you may not, if you didn't pay attention to the impeachment hearings or any of the January 6th commissions, this is one of the co-chairs of the January 6th commission that Nancy Pelosi put together along with Liz Cheney. No. Hold on. Is that her name? Liz Cheney? I think it's, yeah. I'm pretty sure it was Cheney. So, this is another one of those people, okay? Listen to what he says about the National Guardsman who got shot, and you already heard one Democratic congressman or congresswoman say, it's because frustrations are boiling over, so it's fine. All right, listen to this. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are here. Listen to this because it's going to make your mind just go.
What you did. Madam Secretary, you and the gentleman from NCTC reference the unfortunate accident that occurred with the National Guardsman being killed.
You think that was an unfortunate accident?
I mean,
It was a terrorist attack.
wait. Look, I'll get it straight. Then you can
He shot our
respond.
National Guardsman in the head.
Look, Mr. Chairman, will you direct?
Mr. Chairman, can you please tell the witness to stop being mean to me? The mean little lady in front of me just wrecked my face because I said National Guard getting shot in the head by a terrorist is a mean accident. Yeah, well, you know what? You deserve it. Because that wasn't a mistake. That was exactly what they aligned it to. It was a terrible accident. No, accident is when you run into someone in a fender bender. Grabbing a gun, yelling Allahu Akbar, and shooting 2 National Guardsmen in the head from West Virginia, killing one of them and the other seriously injured, that doesn't really qualify as an accident. This is the woke on parade, guys. It's still alive. It's still kicking. It's in the frickin' corner. I should have done an animation where there's a zombie in the corner on this video. Because it's not going away. It's not gone. It's just dormant. You just had a segment about the student loan forgiveness. Well, that's socialism 101. You just had the white woman saying that she was guilty for being white. I don't care. I don't care about what you feel about yourself. Good talk. Leave the children out of it. Then you had 2 different Congress members talking about how it was an accident. It's because frustrations are boiling over that a terrorist shot 2 National Guardsmen in the head. What the actual hell is happening? But this is the left. This is what's happening. It's still in their party. Oh, I've got even more of it. All right, let's keep on going. Let's keep on trucking. And by the way, guys, thank you very much for sending this out, the comments, the chats, and the emojis, because the notifications over the last 24 to 48 hours have been something lackluster. I appreciate all of you. This happens every 2 to 4 weeks, so bear with me as we continue to struggle through the notification storm. All right, listen. This is the Gavster. Sorry, let me mute this real quick because what's Katie want? Okay, let me just mute this real quick because I don't want to interrupt the flow. We got a good thing going. I can't have it stopped. All right, this is the Gavster, and Gavin's gonna run for president, and I'm gonna do 2 years of videos against the Gavster, and I know that, and I know you guys are gonna be ready for it. And you're gonna share it. And you're gonna be involved, and I know you are. But here's the thing. He's talking about things like humanity and sense of purpose because we've lost it. Okay. Bear with me as the Gavster speaks. Listen to this, and then we're going to have some comments on the other side of it.
I don't think there is one after Trump. I think it's going to fray. There's no chance JD could keep it together, certainly not Rubio or anybody else. Without Trump, there's no Trumpism. There's no ideological framework, but there could have been. He could have built the structure from a policy framework. And Bannon, I think, is the thought leader in that respect. And I say thought leader, and I know that offends a lot of liberal minds that are offended by Bannon and don't want to attach any thoughtfulness to what he promotes. But I think we would be wise to listen. And that's, again, there's got to be some grace. Learn from people. Success leaves clues. There's power of emulation. And you've got to get out of your bubble, literally and figuratively. And you also have to find humanity. You have to find decency in other people. For no other reason that we're all exhausted, polarized, traumatized. We're exhausted. This has to end. We can't take this anymore. This is code red in this country. Just the humanity that we've lost. The sense of purpose, I don't think there is.
All right, y'all. There's nothing, to borrow a line from Speaker Johnson, like listening to the arsonist complain about how tired the firefighters are. I mean, I'm sorry. Let me hear you in the chat in the comments if you agree. Because holy crap. We're all exhausted. The political partisanship. Saving our democracy. I mean, that was last speech. Oh my God, we're so tired. We've lost our humanity. You mean we lost our humanity when Biden was inaugurated or when Trump was inaugurated? And are we tired and exhausted because the push from the left, or are we tired and exhausted from doing the right thing? Or is it fair that we do things back and forth about humanity? For example, do you think it's fair for someone to stand up on a subway and defend the other people around them from someone who's threatening their lives with no weapon, just his body? And then that's fair or that's not fair? Or is it fair for a young woman to be on a bus and getting stabbed in the neck by someone who's been arrested and released 75 times? Is that fair or is that not fair? And if so, who's it fair to? See how this game plays? Because it's all about humanity. It's all about fairness. It's all about equity. It's all about inclusion. For whom? Is it equity for the criminal or is it equity for the victim? Because this is the big fun part. Ask a clarifying question to a broad-based macro leftist like this, and you get a little like, oh, why do you hate people? Oh, what? Who's it fair to? Is it fair to those children that we're talking about in the first clip that have to deal with that emotional manipulation because of political reasons? Is that fair to the children? Is that fair to the National Guardsman who just got shot in the face by an unfortunate accident because frustrations were boiling over? Who's it fair to? See, that's the problem when you get into government issuing fairness, kind of like healthcare. Anything that they grant, they can take away. Just saying. All right, let's continue. Got another one from the Gavster. Listen, guys, if I'm over the target, I need to see planes. I mean, legitimately. All right. God, this freaking guy. I'm going to go on my soapbox on this one. I just feel it. I just know it. I feel like this is going to happen right now. Gav is nothing but a gum flapper blowing hot air. Probably. Absolutely F the woke. I like that. That's good. You guys are getting the engagement. I absolutely love this. Here we go. By the way, we are about at 50% of viewership from our normal live streams, and that happens religiously every night, so notifications are definitely down. All right, here we go. Another one for Gavster.
We're talking about the economy. We're not talking about the American people. We're not talking about people's lived experience. And we missed that. And with Atrioc, he kept bringing that back, that systemically for decades, this economy has not been working. 10% of people own 2/3 the wealth. Half the consumer spending is that top 10%. This thing, the stock market is 7 damn stocks, maybe 10, but primarily 7, mostly in California. And so that reality, he burst in a way that pierced me even more than all the intellectual punditry, the things you've written and other people have written, because
you didn't have to make it personal here, man.
But it's not nourishing the economy for enough people. People are living on edge. Mm-hmm. And I saw that at home. I lived that reality. But it's deeper than that now. We're talking about the economy. We're not talking about the American people.
This guy is one of the most dangerous narcissists that you're ever going to experience politically. I'm just telling you. He's a political piranha. He knows how to speak the language of emotion, but he also knows how to avoid facts. Because what that guy just said, he literally went back and forth 4 or 5 times, but he did it with a little bit of flair and some hair gel, and he got away with it. It's not his fault. The interviewer is clearly too unintelligent or biased to catch him on what he just said. Because it was all about how egregious the stock market is, 7 or 10 stocks. And then on the other hand, it's a little benefit for himself, pat on his own ass, about the fact that they're all in California. Well, it's bad stock market, but it's good California. Wait, which one is it? And then we go into the next piece of this, about the fairness, the equity, the billionaires, the everyday people. Listen, it is how do I say this? How do I say this on the internet? It is a fool's errand, and it is a devil's gambit to go down the road of class warfare. Because America wasn't built on a system of jealousy. America is built on a system of striving through meritocracy. I want to provide better for my family, just like you guys do when you're watching. You want to provide better for your country, just like I do. You don't go into it going, I'm going to work my butt off and put in this effort because I'm going to get a guaranteed result. No, the idea is you can work your butt off and you can grind and you have the opportunity to. It's not a guarantee, it's an opportunity. The opportunity and the guarantee is in the opportunity. The guarantee is not in the outcome. That's the big point. That's the big play. That's the big ploy. It's all about emotions and pain and all about manipulation. It's not about, well, it's not fair because you have the equal opportunity that everyone else does. It's not fair because you don't have the equal outcome that everybody else does. For example, I could start a YouTube channel. I could have 712,000 subscribers. That's an incredible blessing and a tremendous responsibility. Somebody else my age starts a YouTube channel, doesn't do very well. That doesn't mean they're a bad person. Maybe they start a computer software company and they blow that thing apart. Like they just go ham. It's because we have different skills and different strives and different merit and different skill sets. But that's the entire point. It's all about unfairness because it didn't go the way I wanted it to. It's a manipulation. And when they get power, that doesn't change because the money still stays at the top. The only thing that it does is it changes from the entrepreneurs into the socialist. Anyway, let's keep on going. I feel like that was a good little soapbox to get on. I feel like that was pretty good. All right. And this part right here, this is Nate Silver. Do you know who Nate Silver is? If you don't, I'm going to tell you. If you do, good job. So Nate Silver is the guy who came to fame in the polling industry under something called 538. He worked for ABC, then he sold it, and now he's done, and he was a big pollster. Okay, big pollster. He says, the Democratic base is very angry, and this is where the zombie comes back to bite them in their own foot, which is understandable. But it will probably lead to less emphasis on electability, along with other weird conditions, such as infatuation with Gavin Newsom. See how I did that clip right there with the Gavin, the tie-in? Guys, you see what I'm up to. This is the whole point. When I tell you that there's a left and moderate battle going on in the Democrat Party, that's what I'm talking about. It's the emphasis on electability versus fighting against Trump. Their reason and anger and vitriol is overriding their actual logic. That's the whole point. A perfect example, Graham Plattner in Maine, he's not going to beat a Republican because he's too far left. Jasmine Crockett isn't going to beat a Republican because she's too far left. Afton Bain underperforms other Democrats who are overperforming. You're not going to be able to be electable in the mainline general electorate when you're going too far left. But the reason they're going too far left is because they are angry and they are incensed by the idea that Trump beat them. That's why the clip that I showed you with James Carville last night is so vitriolic. It is base level anger because he knows for 10 years Donald Trump stuck his foot right in their butts. And he knows it. This is the whole point. They're overriding their logic and their reason. Let's keep on going. I'm telling you, this is where it's going to go for the next 2 years. They're going to do a Gavster, and Gavster's probably not going to do as well as they think he is. I'm not a Nostradamus, but I'm just telling you. Hold on a second, I got a super chat for $5. Krellian. Gavin Newsom is living proof that Democrats only look at the headline and top image and don't actually read articles. Krellian, that was extremely astute. Excellent point. That is a very good point. Well done. You guys, seriously, I say this all the time. My viewers are the sharpest tools in the box. I swear, you guys know what's going on. You are plugged in. You're constitutionally in tune, and you are fully aware of the BS being thrown. You guys are on it. All right, let's go to this last one about woke arising, and then I'll kind of transition into something else here. Not Gavster style. Relax. Just in the show. This is what transitions used to be. All right. This is so funny. This is a woke account. Okay, this is more case in proof. My God, says the lefty. 17 Senate Democrats are voting to confirm Trump judges who refuse to say who won the 2020 election. These are lifetime appointments. Why are these Democrats helping Trump destroy our democracy? Right there is the reason that I showed you the Nate Silver clip. Because these people have TDS to the extreme and it overrides. And if you told them they didn't have to eat for the rest of their lives and it would hurt Donald Trump, they wouldn't eat. Honest to God. But it's so insane that they don't want judges confirmed at all. And any Democrat that would vote to confirm a judge, which is like one of the baseline operational procedures of the country in the Senate, is now a traitor to the Democrat brand because they're doing anything to be perceived to help Trump. This is standard operating procedure. And if you want to really go down the judges who do stupid stuff, let's talk about Ketanji Brown Jackson when she was asked what is a woman and she couldn't answer that one. And she's an associate justice on the Supreme Court now. If you want to crack open that can of worms, we can. But honest to God, you're looking at it right here. Another super chat. Sean Browning, 616, says, Democrats accusing Trump of gaslighting, seriously. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. And by the way, you are under complete and total full-on billion-dollar purchase propaganda. I'm just letting you guys know because you are. You're being propagandized beyond your wildest dreams. We talked about it was going to happen, and it's starting in earnest, and it's going to go through next November. It's going to be insane if it's not already. For example, this is a really good idea of what you would think that you would hear, right? You'd think that this might be something worthy of noting. Because what was one of those things that Trump promised that he would do when he got into office about that whole national debt thing and the trade deficit? You know those two things? Pretty important key underlying promises. Wow. It was just confirmed that the United States deficit plummeted 53% over the past year amidst President Trump's tariffs. November 2024 was $367 billion deficit. And November 2025, 1 year later, one president later, $193 billion. I don't know. That seems like it's going in the right direction, guys. Because if you get rid of a $367 billion deficit down to $193 billion, the next step, if you're continuing that halving process, that next step is significantly less. We're going to get it down to like what, 10 and change, or like 9 and change? Like 9.6, 9.7? I mean, like, or 90.6, 90.7? Y'all, this is important stuff. This is the fact that this is not on the news shows you how biased they are, because that is incredible. Let's keep on going with that. Anyway, let's keep on going. Again, this is all the stuff that they're not freaking telling you. And oh God, I hope they do something with this guy. I really hope they do. Pete Buttigieg. Buttigieg, whatever. Mayor Pete. So he goes on and he's going to talk about preparing for the inevitable, the departure of Donald Trump from American politics. Okay. Y'all, let me tell you what's going to happen with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is going to finish out his term as the fourth year of his term. And then he's going to be the kingmaker of the Republican Party and the fundraiser and the vote animator for the rest of his days. That's the way it's going to work. The Democrats have it with Obama, not with Biden, because let's face it, whoa. They've got it with Obama. They used to do it with Clinton. That's what they all do. But the idea that Donald Trump is going to be finally slayed as the monster on top of MAGA or the monster on top of the Republican Party is a dream. It is a fool's errand. It's not going to happen. So this little wet dream that I'm about to show you is genuinely just that. Just want to throw that out there because this is what they're thinking. This is genuinely what they think.
Isn't it just dumb? I mean, aren't people going to be very angry when they realize they're paying another $1,200 a month for health insurance?
I would think so, yeah. And look, that's one of the reasons why you see right now some Republicans, not a lot, but some Republicans starting to do something remarkable, which is defying this president. You're seeing it with people I never thought you would see this from. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mace criticizing Republican leadership. In Indiana, the state house there, very Republican state, Republican supermajority, the president of the United States personally begging them to redo the districts, and up until now at least, doesn't have the votes. And I think that's really telling, because I think in the same way that before taking over this country, he took over his party, I think the way that his power is starting to collapse will be first within his party and then more broadly in the country. But here's the thing. These Republicans are doing something that many in my party are still struggling to do, which is actually to imagine what happens next. They're doing this because they're thinking ahead, and they are aware of something that we know as a fact is true, but we have trouble actually picturing, which is that a day will come when Donald Trump is no longer active in American politics. And we had better be ready for that.
Yeah, it's been 10 years y'all been kicking the can down the road. I just want to throw that out there. They've been getting just absolutely stuffed for 10 years. Okay, here's the thing. This guy is trying to tell y'all that, oh my gosh, for the first time ever, Republicans are standing against Trump. They have never resisted. Those establishment rhinos have never resisted, ever. They never had a Never Trumper organization. They never had the Never Trump Republicans. They never had the Republicans Against Trump X feeds. They didn't have any of those. It's never happened before. Okay, child, please. And this is the whole point. They're going down all these roads of like a hypothetical world where you don't have a Donald Trump. Marjorie Taylor Greene is out of the fray. Now she's criticizing Trump. Nancy Mace goes after Speaker Johnson. Nancy Mace wants to go for governor of South Carolina, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't know what happened there, but 2 days after her pension kicked in, she retires, and then she hits the media circuit. After going in at like, I think worth $700,000, coming out worth $25 million. Yeah, I don't know. Politician's gonna politician, I guess. Even the ones that are a little more friendly to Trumpster. All right, let's keep on going. Because now I've got to wrap with this part. Because we are roughly, let's see what time we're at 40 minutes. You guys have been hanging with me. Losers on the left lie, that's right. All right. Y'all, I'm going to have a question with y'all. And I need you guys to tell me what you think on this. Comments, chats, emojis are incredibly important on this part. Because we're going to start doing something on this channel together. And I'm not going to go after individuals in an aggressive way, but I am going to bring up very serious concerns and questions about ideological approaches. Okay, so here we go. This is Eric Erickson. Again, I have no problem with Eric Erickson. I don't want to attack him. I'm not trying to attack him. I do not want this perceived as such, because I don't want firing within the own tent, with our own side. That's not helpful. I want to read something about the immigration, the ICE, and all those things that he just posted. Republicans got in by promising to deport all criminals, gangbangers, and recent arrivals. Instead, they're deporting everyone. The GOP says they're all illegal, so all must go. Hispanic voters who sided with them now feel targeted. If you want to keep the policy, you've got to replace the Hispanics in the coalition to hold power. But with whom? Or nuance and focus on criminals, gangbangers, and people who showed up in the last few years. Now, I want to know what you guys think on this, because I think this is really important stuff right here. Here's my initial gut reaction on this, and this is something that I think is important. Why would we water down our standards on something that the overall optics and the overall polling in support of the nation was fully aligned with? Because the polling on this is extremely firm. No, they're illegally here. They shouldn't be. The border is wide open. We're going to elect President Trump. I mean, it literally cannot be clearer. Why would we revert back to a Bush-era policy, which was incredibly unpopular? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I mean, the very idea of, well, fine, but keep everyone who's been here as being peaceable. But you get rid of the gangbangers, the criminals, and the people who showed up in the last few years. What's the last few years? This right here, and again, I'm not attacking anyone individual. I'm talking about the idea itself. This right here reminds me very much of the wishy-washy rhino-class George Bush-era Republican that didn't stand up for the law, didn't stand up for immigration, didn't stand up for the border because of political implications. So again, what's the point of doing that? Why would we, as a conservative or a Republican or MAGA why would we water down the entire message that has popular support and was completely instrumental in electing the president that is in power with the House and the Senate? Why would we go back to this when you already have everything that the people have spoken? I don't know. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, like, you guys are kind of over here. Right. Okay, see, thank you. Rob Rouse says, legal Hispanics are pissed, illegals are here, stupid ass people. See, here's that's kind of the other thing that I wanted to bring in. If you look at the polling from Hispanics who are legally here, they're also on board with the illegal should not be here, because they went through the process and they paid money and they waited time and they did the loops and the hoops and the jumps. Everyone else didn't. Again, you already heard my immigration take earlier in this live. Like, I'm all for it. If you want to come in and you want to assimilate and you want to contribute to the American dream for the entire American people, go for it. You want to be a productive member of the society? Absolutely. Get in here. But if you're just going to skip the line and you're not going to assimilate and you're going to be your own homogenous group within the population, that's not going to help. But again, this right here doesn't make any sense to me at all. Why would the liberal wing... excuse me, let me rephrase that again. I'm not trying to attack anybody. Why would the idea be floated that we're going to go back to a watered-down policy when the entire policy that got the president elected was a hardline policy? It's hardline because it's following the Constitution. It's hardline because it's following the law. Why would we go on the side of allowing sanctuary cities to consistently break the law, but at the same time, Second Amendment protection areas and Second Amendment protection zones are ruled unconstitutional? So where does this hit? Because to me, this is going backwards. And I've seen a lot of posts like this from Eric Erickson. Again, he's just posing ideas. I'm not attacking him. But to me, the idea is that doesn't hold water. But I thought it was a good way to wrap this with an intelligence little bite for you guys to chew on. I showed you the woke monster in the corner, and hopefully it's still sleeping over there after it stopped twitching and put its legs down. But y'all, honest to God, our fight is still very active. The second we go to sleep is the second that monster reanimates. And if they take the House in 2026, you are going to be looking at impeachment palooza during an election cycle for the president in 2028. That's what you're going to be looking at. Nothing's going to get done. He's going to be a lame duck. It's going to be all executive, and it's going to be really, really, really asinine. And I would prefer that not be the case. All right, listen. I hope you guys enjoyed the hell out of this live stream, prepared specifically just for you guys watching wherever you are. Let me know what you think in the comments field, the chats, the emojis. I love each and every one of you, just the right amount that makes you feel comfortable. I hope you are enjoying these live streams and the length and the content. We put our heart and soul into preparing them, and I hope you guys appreciate it. All right, listen. I'm going to go get ready for the next video tomorrow. I'm Braden. Later.